Wanted to talk about billing and introduce you to the new features that we've recently implemented. The intent here is to make the billing process more efficient so that the people downstream aren't having to hunt down missing information, and the providers at the point of care can feel confident that their charts are indeed complete as they think they are. So we do this in a couple of ways. Obviously, we have field validators. These are the red fields. These fields are required for a quote chart to be complete. For example, you'll see the date field. When you set the procedure date there, you'll see it changes from red to yellow, meaning that you have put in information. We have anesthesia start time, so you're going to want to complete that information. In this example, scheduled start and anesthesia ready are not required for billing, so why are they red? Well, field validators can be dropped into different categories. We have some that have to do with quality, we have some that have to do with operations, and then we have some that are due with billing. In this case, scheduled start time and anesthesia ready time really speak towards the operations. We want to give you real-time feedback in what is your first time on start case delays, what are your total case delays, what is your average anesthesia ready time, what is that surgical prep time, and how does that distribute down by surgeon, by anesthesiologist, by CRNA, by specialty, by location. So we can get a lot of operational information from scheduled start time and anesthesia ready time, and that's why they're red and required in this case. It's fully flexible. It's whatever the client needs or would like. But in billing standpoint, we certainly need anesthesia start time. You can select who your surgeon is pretty easily. I want to show you too, down here you have 4 fields for every anesthesia provider. We need to know their ID. We need to know we need to have their signature on the chart. We also need individual start and end times for each individual. And this really helps with team-based models. We need to be able to check for concurrencies. It can get very complicated. It's not always a standard one MD to one CRNA. You have people giving breaks. You have people giving relief. Sometimes you have staffing changes where you're going from a team down to a single post for an MD back to a team model. And so it can get pretty complicated, and we want to be able to make sure that we have discrete information on each individual provider so that we know that the billing process is accurate as possible. So in this case, you would put in your ID. So I'm going to select who I am, and then I'm going to sign the chart. And there are a couple things I want to bring your attention to. You'll notice these are staying red. Well, why are they red? Because we're treating each individual provider as a group. And so we need those 4 discrete pieces of information before the whole thing will then become, quote, valid. So you'll see here in anesthesia end time. I don't want to click on that immediately. I can click on that and fill out the information. I want to show you how bindings work. And what I mean by bindings is that when you put in what the anesthesia end time is, it will also populate, so here we have 7:32's anesthesia end time. It will also populate that first provider's end time. This is assuming there's a one-to-one staffing model so that you don't ever have to actually enter in the start and the end time, because when you put anesthesia start time, it binds that to the first provider start time. When you select anesthesia end time, it binds that to the first provider's anesthesia end time. So it makes it really fast. Now these are fully editable, so you can come in here and say, actually, I finished at 7:31, and there was a second provider, and I want to walk you through this. Say this person who came in. Once I select that ID, now I need a signature, an individual start, and an individual end time. That second person is going to have to sign the chart. Their individual start time is going to be from 7:31 until the end of the case, which was 7:32. And so once they enter that 4th piece of information in, you can now see we have a total, for that provider, all 4 discrete elements are indeed complete. So that tells you a little bit about new fields that we have geared towards billing, how bindings will work, where if you fill in one piece of information, it will populate another piece of information. Talk to you a bit about the group validators, so that each provider on the chart has to put in their ID, their signature, and their individual start and end times. Let's move on to another section. It's called coding, right? So we've introduced some new ideas for coding. We have 3 surgical CPT code sets and 1 for ASA codes. When you click on these now, they will bring up your list of favorite codes, and you can put in 5 favorite codes, you can put in 20 favorite codes, 100 favorite codes. These are the codes that you most frequently use, so that if you're doing the same type of case day after day after day, then you can simply just select from the quick list, and it will put in here what is the surgical CPT code for that case. If this is an unusual case and it's something that's outside of your norm, if you click Show All Values, then it will immediately show every surgical CPT code that is available to choose from so that you can identify it and easily select it. The ASA code box works in a very similar fashion. You open it up and it allows you to very quickly pick from a very short list. If you want to look at the total available ASA CPT list, you can certainly do that too. And so we'll just select this. And there you have it. That's how we make it very easy to put surgical CPT codes and ASA CPT codes on the chart at the point of care. And that's it on billing. We'll talk again soon.